There's only three of us. TJ is usually the one who goes, hey, we're live in the motherfucking boneyard, and I don't see TJ at all. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to make you guys introduce yourselves, since I don't know what happened to him. He was here a second ago. So now that we're all here live in the boneyard, could you lovely gentlemen below us please introduce yourselves?
Yep. I'm Philip. I'm the guitarist and singer for the Noctambulant.
And you are, sir?
And Darren is also
drummer.
Yeah,
nice.
Darren Fitzpatrick.
Right I'm Darren.
Okay, right on.
Drummer.
And nice. And where are you guys out of?
We're out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Right on. What's the
nice
temperature there?
Down there?
Yeah. All right.
So
yeah.
Now that I'm back, I guess the intro crashed my system on my end.
That's all right. We took care of it for you, TJ.
Friday. Yeah, right. Tell me a little bit about the artwork on the new album cover, man, with the three wolves and stuff.
Well, actually, that's Darren. Tell me.
I reached out to this that I used. I believe he's in Lithuania. He did some shirt work, T-shirt artwork for us for another song called "Unholy Benediction," and I liked what he did, and so I reached out to him about the EP and said we need something for that. And we just kind of idea what we had with us and our sigil, and he drew it up.
That's awesome. Right on.
And
yeah,
and
then
in the band. All right. So in the band, the wolves are kind of like an iconography thing that we use a lot. We've used since the beginning, be it wolf skulls and whatnot. So we wanted to kind of incorporate that symbolism into the cover art.
Right on. Okay. Awesome. That's fantastic. Did you hear any of that, TJ?
I heard some of it. Yep.
Okay. You're gonna have to rewatch the show so we don't have to make them repeat themselves.
No, it's all good. I don't know why I got full signal and everything, and I know I broke my camera, so I'm on a new camera and stuff. So and new system.
Well, it wouldn't be the boneyard if we didn't have something fucking up. So, and we've already got some people kicking around, man. My brother Adam's here, and Sarah's here, and Kevin and Joel are kicking around already, and Marie. So, like, we're off to a good start, even though you're not doing so well with your connection.
I know. I'm sorry. I apologize now.
No worries. I had seen on your Facebook page today that you guys were doing like a little bit of a vlog with your songs and stuff like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so what we've been doing is, especially with the lockdown and not a lot of live shows, we've been trying to maintain, an output of material. And a good way to do that and also connect with people is we've been trying to do playthroughs. Darren, I don't know, is he over here? Darren has been Darren's been doing playthroughs, and since we're getting back together and recording it and working on new music, well, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for the new guitar player, Jonathan Fico, and myself to kind of show how these new songs are played on this last EP. So we're just taking the opportunity to kind of go through and have live playthroughs to just say, hey, this is how you do this, and also to show that Darren can actually play those parts, because they always ask, like, is that really a drummer? And be like, yes, that is really a drummer.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Right on. That's fantastic.
I do the live versions of it from the stage. I film myself with my camera.
Yeah. Right on. That's awesome. So you said that there was a sold-out stadium show there tonight, eh? Have you guys booked to start playing again, or?
Yeah, we've got two festival shows in July. One in Louisiana and one in Mississippi. And we're going to, starting May 1st, we're really going to start pushing those. you don't want to start too early because people will forget. So come May 1st, we're really going to start pushing those two fest shows with the Hispanic Satanic. That group, they're putting on the shows in the Gulf Coast. So we're familiar with them because we played a show out in Hattiesburg a few years ago, and it was one of the best shows we ever played. We're in the Hattiesburg. It isn't known for much, but it was it was packed. And
awesome.
And that was when we first learned about the Hispanic Satanic, and they came out and just in force, and it was really great meeting those guys.
Right on. That's fantastic. It's nice to hear that like, excuse me, things are starting to, even if it's not here, things are starting to look up, I guess. I don't know. It's been so up and down the last little while, and I mean, like, I'm jealous. I'm crying for mosh pits, man. Throwing my kids around the living room just isn't doing it for me anymore. So, like.
Tonight, they went to a show where they are, and they sent video. They're like, "Oh, I wish you were here." It's like, fuck, watching their live video. It would have been so awesome.
Yeah,
to be
we
there,
wish we were there too.
Hey, man, it's just like
Yeah. No, I completely understand that. So, on that note, I guess since we don't get to see any mosh pits right now, what are your best like mosh pit stories? What are your favorite stories from either on the stage or from the pit?
All right, well, I'll let Darren answer that one first.
I'd have to say when we played this not a festival, but I guess it was an outside show. This was a long time ago, and we were playing, and these people started going at it, and they went to when it was done. There was nothing. There was not even any grass left. It was just nothing but dirt.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they just, and the guy was like, that had the party was like, great. I just lost my yard.
yeah.
So I remember doing that. That was pretty wild.
And my favorite, we were in Sundsvall, Sweden at Club Destroyer, and the Scandinavians are real big into black metal, obviously. So it's one of those things, if you can get a good response in Scandinavia, that's a good sign. So we're playing Sundsvall at Club Destroyer, and we start, and they're hesitant, they're getting into it, and then by the second song, they're lined up, just like headband, they're shaking the barricades, and the whole place was going nuts.
Oh,
that was awesome.
That's got to be something to stand on stage and look out and see that they're doing that for us. That's awesome, man.
We have a song that has a crowd participation aspect, like a call and response. That's always our last song. And so when you have the crowd, no matter if it's 4 people or 100 people doing that back, it's just great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
No, that's the great thing about the live music. Like, you do a show for 10 people or 1,000 people, depending on the crowd, you could have a better time with those 10 people than you could for 10,000 people,
Yep, definitely.
Yep. One of my favorite shows, actually, I'd say there's probably like 9 of us there. I was at the door. The other 2 were behind the bar. The rest were just seat fillers, I guess.
Yeah.
It was minus, who the fuck knows? It was freezing. It was Canadian weather. It was crazy.
Yeah, it gets cold up here, right?
Oh yeah. So Laid to Rest and Well and Wasted played, and that was by far one of the best shows I have ever seen. We were in this tiny little dive bar called Willie's that I ended up running afterwards for a little while, and it was fantastic. Morgan was like the lead singer of Well and Wasted, was swinging from the ceiling, like from the lights, and he was walking along the bar railing, and it just he performed that night like there was 10,000 of us in that bar, and it was it was so fun.
One of my most memorable shows is we were playing in Philly, and because we were the headliner and it was a Doom show, so after all the Doom band plays, everyone left, and so it just left one person in the audience, who later became my girlfriend, so that works out. But
That's fantastic.
That's a love story right there, bud. Fuck, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Like,
Absolutely.
you go on. Explain a little more in detail, man. Like, fucking, how do you play a show for one person and then fucking all of a sudden you're together?
I was really we talked. So I was actually really nervous because my amp was like going in and out. So I was not in the best mood. Like I was distracted. My amp kept going, and it was just But we had talked, and we talked for a while after that. But that was the first like introduction. So
Nice.
That's so cool.
That's one hell of an introduction, man.
Yeah.
No doubt, right?
yeah,
That's fantastic. Well, at least she's dedicated. She was there when nobody else was, man.
Yeah,
that's true.
right?
And she
I mean,
helped
you can take that for a joke if you want, but I was being serious.
she helped load gear too.
Yeah, right. Hey, man, the ones of us that are invested in being with people in this industry will do what it takes to make things happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, a little
You know, like,
shout
I
out
mean,
to
I know
Ryder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Sorry
And
to
Rose.
interrupt.
No worries.
Yeah.
I just can't see the screen because it's so small. When I was reading earlier, I had to like zoom in, and I just got new glasses too. I don't know if they're doing their
They're
job.
looking pretty spiffy, by the way.
Well, thank you. They're the exact same as every other pair, only they're black instead of blue or red or pink or purple or
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your new album, guys.
So the EP we just released, yes, that's the Hellraiser EP. We put out 2 albums and 3 or 4 EPs before that. And the last couple of years, especially when we went to Europe, we saw that people kept asking, you're from Florida, what makes y'all unique? And we realized that we were trying to kind of just do the typical European, Scandinavian black metal thing, and I'm like, it was almost feeling like disingenuous,
Right.
because we're trying so hard to fit into that square
So-called
peg
category. Yeah. Team.
and it was just like and we get there and everyone's like, well, but you're from Florida, that's cool. I'm like, yeah. So with this new album and going forward, we didn't rebrand, but we just kind of took a look at, hey, what is it that we do, what makes us us, and that's, we live basically in a swamp. I grew up in the woods. And that's what makes us. So we're trying to incorporate more of what makes us us into the music.
But
Right
being
on.
someone from the South too, like I understand that because I gravitate towards more of the dark metal, and it seems to always be from overseas, Scandinavian and stuff, right? But even in Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, where you guys are from, fucking, you get that throughout the swamp. It's a totally dark. How do you say that? Like an old school feeling, like it's an old world in a sense, right?
So I equated that because people in Europe would ask us, how is it someone from Florida plays black metal? Because Scandinavians there, it's cold and oppressive and blah blah blah. I'm like, yes, but when you think about it, Florida and Norway are just 2 opposite ends of the same spectrum. Like, Norway is oppressive and you can't go outside half the year and it'll kill you. And Florida is oppressive. You can't go outside half the year and it'll kill you. It's just one's cold and one's hot.
It's so true, man. Like, people don't realize that down there. Like, it still gets below 0 in the middle of the night and stuff, but it might get 95, 100 degrees during the day. So now you're sunburned. Minus 0, 32.
Yeah, when it's 110 Fahrenheit, you don't want to do anything. You just want to stay inside. So it's the same mindset, and also it comes from a lot of the same roots of that old world, Appalachian swamp, like country and folkish background. So
I've got to say, especially through like South Carolina, Florida, you get that old Spanish moss that grows on the trees, and that fog rolls in. You have that old world feeling, and that's where that connection comes to that dark metal. Like, it's not just Scandinavia that can have that feeling, like.
And if you're familiar with, if you've seen our video for Hellraiser,
Yes.
That was shot at the back of this property.
No, that was my next. I was leading into that. Man. That's perfect.
So the bulk of some of the shots were shot 2 blocks over, you know, at a back in the woods deeper, but all the performance stuff and the flames and all that was just shot in my backyard because we got 3 acres here, and the back acre is just Florida woods and swamps and shit. So it's like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
We spent probably a month looking for locations, and then I think Darren actually said, "Why are we doing that? We just use your backyard."
Yeah, I said your backyard's creepy as fuck. Let's use it.
I don't even want to go back there, he says.
I said it's great. I said it'd be a great video place.
You made me spit coffee, Darren. God damn it.
Well, there you go.
This is our Noctambulant blend coffee from Blackheart Coffee. So if you want to go and go to Blackheart Coffee, you can get the Noctambulant Graveyard Blend.
Ooh, I'm all over that.
Oh boy.
So I'm not a coffee drinker, but I might be tempted to buy some of that and try that shit out.
I am. I will drink coffee all day long. Coffee is my booze. Yeah, so I am down for a bag for sure.
There you go. Yeah, Blackheart Coffee, like Blackheart guitars. Zeus is an avid coffee drinker, so he started a coffee line as well, in addition to guitars.
Wow.
Amazing. You learn something new every day.
So we can edit the title out, make sure your coffee fucking thing goes up there too, man. And then that way people like it, they can click on it and go for it, right?
Yeah. Definitely. I'm in
what I'm drinking right now.
I absolutely love trying new coffees. And I do. I'm always in because like I said, I don't drink, right? So like people are like, "Oh, did you try this one? Did you try this one?" And I'm like, "No, but I'll take that coffee over there." Yeah. So I'm always into new coffees and stuff. So that's really cool. I'm happy to hear that. And hot sauces. You guys don't happen to have hot sauce too, do you?
We do actually.
We do.
Oh, I hit the jackpot with you guys.
Yeah. So the hot sauce is just we sell directly. The problem is we don't have a whole lot of it left because it's so good, and we and during the lockdown we're like, well, shit. So we've eaten a lot of our own hot sauce, which is not good, but it's tasty.
Yeah,
I think it's like a garlic habanero.
I know. I have Cavara's hot sauce. I had Cavara's hot sauce, and I knew that I probably had one of the only existing jars left of it, and I ate it all. And then I talked to Serena, and she said they weren't making it anymore. And I was like, "Fuck, man! I should have framed some of that stuff."
Well, the hot sauce you can get from our Bandcamp, I believe. So
okay, sweet.
All right, I believe we have the link, which behind the scenes. Thank you so much, Brandon, for running behind the scenes tonight. If you could put up there. Bam.
Yeah, kind of nice. I'm not running the show tonight.
I know, it's so nice just to say something and then it pops up on the screen.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm definitely grateful that Brandon's running the show tonight because he always does a fantastic job.
Normally we have two dogs, but I know he works a lot, so we've kind of got a few people that help us out behind the scenes. Little shout out to all them, right? So.
Yeah. So what kind you guys? Oh, no, okay, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask, as far as drumming down in Florida and stuff, like I know being down south it was mainly when I was younger, so the music scene I didn't have access to it at the time, right? It wasn't until I come to Ontario and I found all this great music and found you guys as well, right? How did you end up just fucking playing the drums? Because they're so far and few between people playing, you know?
Well, actually, I started kind of out of necessity. We were putting together a band for like college in humanities. You could do like you could go and watch a bunch of stuff and write reports, or you could put together a band and you can put on a performance. So it was like, hey, let's put together a band, and we needed a drummer. So it's kind of like I already kind of knew how to play, teaching myself. But I said, yeah, okay, I'll play the. That's kind of how I started playing them. Before that, I played guitar, but I just kind of offered myself to make it happen. So I got behind them, and once I got behind them, I kind of got hooked on them, and then I got stuck behind them, and I've been playing them. I still play guitar and stuff like that, but you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've been playing drums ever since then, and I had to take a break for about 7 years due to injuries, but got back into it and slowly been
So
just
with your,
getting.
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say I just started getting into the more and more extreme style of drumming as you know, as I started hearing it and things like that. So I started off more in just playing punk and alternative and some thrash and stuff. But as I got on going on and met Phil, then I decided to try to do this more of extreme style drumming.
Yeah. Now, given the fact that you just stated, as far as accidents and rehabilitation, the drums kind of got you back up and moving again. You sustained or had some happen, right? So.
Well, I had an accident and it messed up my foot, and I still kept playing the drums. I was playing in a shoegaze band at the time, and we were playing and touring and playing around to a lot of like colleges, student union halls, and things like that. And it just got to a point where after I played drums for about 20 minutes, my left leg would just go numb. So I had to take some time off. I took a couple of years, and then slowly got back in. Wasn't everything. It was just kind of more just my left leg and my left side that was having an issue that I had to give it some time to heal up if it did some damage.
Yeah, like an athlete, man, no different than someone that plays football or basketball. You're out there, every day.
Yeah,
you're
this is
jamming.
You're physical. It's it's a physical instrument you're using. I mean, with double bass, I'm using 4 limbs and that kind of thing. And so I just and also the last couple of years I had a hernia and I had to get through that, and I finally had hernia surgery, and that's been so much better for me because that was really causing some trouble. So, but it's since I've had that happen and the surgery, yeah, it's made a big difference for me.
Wow.
Well, it's great to hear you're still jamming and still pushing through. And
oh yeah, I'm always. I've taken lessons. I took some lessons from a high-end death metal drummer out of Poland, and he's really helped me out a lot trying to get my stuff really more on a high end.
Well, it's therapy, right? Especially after going through something like that, an accident like that. Not only are you trying to get back to doing something you love, but I mean, it's almost kind of physical therapy on top of it being emotional therapy, getting back behind the drum kit, I imagine, because you're training your body to do all those things that, for a short period of time it couldn't do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what I did, I could still play drums, but when I did, it just would hurt. So I just had to walk away from them. And basically what I did, I decided to, I picked up my guitar again and actually got a 4-track recorder, and I started recording a bunch of song ideas. So I still kind of kept the juices going, just in a different way.
Right on. Yeah, that's how you got to do it, especially when you don't want to put it down after something like that, right? You kind of got to keep yourself going, like your momentum going in any way, shape, or form, just so you know that you're going to keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
So good on you, man. That's awesome. You kept going.
Yep.
So
that's
right on.
It's part of me. I can't stop.
Yeah, it's like your drumsticks are growing out of your hands, eh?
It's like I tell people, it's the only thing we're good at. So
the
unemployable. Even though we have jobs and stuff, that's not our heart. It's our heart sitting there on stage and playing our stuff, right? Like, lived out of a box trying to live the rock star life, like
Oh yeah.
been doing it for years now. I'm getting pretty
Yeah.
good at it, but
Yeah. No, the stage necessarily isn't where I am, but I completely understand. It would be like me not being able to ever pick up a pen again.
no,
I
not
get
be
it.
able
I
to write.
completely get it. Or not be able to interview somebody again, or write somebody's life story, or
Yeah.
my own for that matter.
Or
It's
you have
no
people
different
that-
than you guys. Go ahead.
Oh, you have people that just draw stuff
Yeah.
that just comes out of them. It's no different,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely a different world when you can't do the things you love, for sure. Speaking of different worlds, what was it that made you guys decide that you wanted to like, not necessarily that you wanted to be metalheads, but what song was it, or what band was it, or that moment in time where you just went, you know what, this is where I'm gonna be? Like,
So I know the exact time. I was flying to Las Vegas with my parents, and I was probably 6 or 7. And at the time, they had radio on airlines,
right.
and they were playing a Metallica track from, I want to say, Justice for All, which was very bizarre. Like, why would they play that? Yeah. So, but I remember specifically listening to this track on the way to Las Vegas, and my mom taking my headphones away because and she said that don't listen to that. That's what bad people listen to. And then later on, I actually got my first Metallica album. I got Ride the Lightning and Justice for All, and then I was like, it was the coolest thing I'd ever heard.
Nice.
And then it went from there.
Just
Nice.
snowball effect, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm the opposite with my kids. I'm like, here, listen to this stuff, because I don't want them listening to pop and shit like that, right? So,
Yeah.
And what about you, man? What was your moment in time that changed you, turned
I was
you,
one of
I
those.
suppose?
I was a '70s Kiss Army fan. I was huge into Kiss when I was a kid.
Well, that's
So-
good to know.
This way,
That
yeah.
was me. I dressed up for them for Halloween, and that's why I started playing guitar as a kid. Yeah. So I was really into them, and actually like Cheap Trick, and I got into a lot of guitar players and stuff like that. But I didn't realize they were like heavy metal or anything at the time. But when I heard Judas Priest, Living After Midnight, and that late '70s, early '80s they played, Screaming for Vengeance, that stuff. That's when I kind of was like, wow, I really like this stuff. That's when I kind of knew that I was, Then I heard a little bit, and then of course Van Halen, but they were just Van Halen anyway. Everybody liked them.
Yeah.
So, but like when I first heard Judas Priest, that Living After Midnight album, Breaking the Law, all that stuff. That album really.
Now that you say that song is good.
I know, I can hear it, man. I can see myself as a kid running around listening to all these songs, because this is what my stepdad was doing, right?
Now,
I know. And it's so funny that you mentioned that you were a Kiss kid, because I actually just got hired to write a book called Kiss Craze, which is a tribute book to tributes and artists and people who have tattoos and major Kiss fanatics and stuff like that. So maybe you and I should talk after the show.
Yeah, well, I paid my $6 to be in the Kiss Army Club.
That's awesome.
It was pretty fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was. We're talking like 1978, so
yeah,
8, 9 years old. Yeah, I was 9 years old.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's totally awesome. Right on. I definitely want to hear more about that for sure.
What do you guys got coming here in the future, man? Like, what are the plans? Like,
Aaron, you want to take that one?
Well, we just got we just kind of basically hooked up with a new guitar player, which is he's going to bring a real a death metal. He's got lots of talent in that kind of area. He plays, the ripping leads and that kind of stuff. So we're going to work with him, get him up to snuff with the show music, and which he's doing real good with that. And then at the same time, we're going to be getting him to work with us. We got 6 songs, and we're going to be working on 2 more for hopefully a full LP somewhere down the line, and have him
nice.
join us on that.
That's awesome.
No,
Yeah, we're getting yeah, we've got about probably 8 or 9 tracks in various degrees of completion. Demos, and we're really happy with them. They're sticking in that same vein as the Hellraiser EP. They kind of a little move away from the more traditional black metal and kind of like that blackened, deathy, southern gothic-y mess that we now do, apparently. So.
Right on.
No, that's awesome.
Right on. The darker it is, the more I want to listen to it. We just said the same thing in 2 totally different sentences. You can tell we've been doing this for a little while, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So who are your influences? Like I skipped around on your page a little bit today. I had noticed that you guys had some influential posts put up. Now I can't talk. But like nobody else, I'm sure, that is watching right now. Most of our guests, they usually wait to meet the guests through the interview. So like, who are your influences and other bands that you listen to or that you want to shout out that you play with or anything like that?
Yeah, so when it comes to musical influences, the band as a whole, we start with like Venom, Celtic Frost, that first wave, that kind of greasy black and roll. We really like that. Yeah. And then Dissection, Dark Funeral, they were huge. Cradle of Filth, like the first 3 or 4 Cradle of Filth albums. No matter what you think of their later stuff, you can't fuck with those first 3 albums.
That's right.
No, not one bit.
Like you can't.
I agree with that.
And so and Emperor was one of my favorite bands. But at the same time, I also listened to a bunch of Johnny Cash, Peter Murphy, The Cure, Sisters of Mercy, Elvis. Yeah. I love Elvis. The largest tattoo on my body is an Elvis tattoo. So
no way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love Elvis. So a lot of those just kind of mix together, but especially when it comes to my guitar playing, I really tried to emulate those melodic black metal guitar players, like Dissection, Dark Funeral. If I could play like the dudes in Emperor, that'd be great, but I can't. So, but and especially a lot of like Celtic Frost. Really like Celtic Frost, and I think Darren has slightly different ones than I do.
Right on.
Yeah, well, a little bit. I'm a little bit more. I came from more of the hardcore background, crossover. The Black Flag, Circle Jerks, Agent Orange, JFA. What's up? What, Phil?
I forgot the Misfits.
Well, Misfits, yeah. The hardcore scene. Which eventually I went into, thrash, got into the Slayer. My favorite band is Voivod, so I was really into them. When I heard Dimension Hatros, that was the album that I wanted to be in a band after I heard that one. So Voivod. So I just I was always into more of that crossover thrash. I love DRI, Crumbsuckers, that kind of stuff from the 80s, and then and then in the 90s and stuff, it moved into, I got really into Entombed. I liked, Obituary. And then I kind of I got involved in a band that was a corporate band. So I kind of got away from metal for a little while, made a bunch of money playing drums. And then when I came back, like all this black metal was like Dark Funeral and Marduk stuff started. I was like, whoa. So I was really into that. And, so that's kind of, my influences with that. And as far as, drumming goes, of course, Dominator from Dark Funeral. I really, he's, and then of course you have Hammer, those guys for black metal scene. Just overall, of course, like Stuart Copeland from the Police, really kind of somebody I kind of, when I first started playing, was somebody that I, kind of watched, I guess, so to speak. And also the guys from, I even have to say, Dave Lombardo from Slayer was an influence on me when I first started playing drums as well. So.
No, Slayers. They were fantastic when I was growing up. Mine was Motorhead, and then I found Pantera, right? And then it was Slayer, Anthrax.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then it just evolved from there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was into in some of the hair metal, in the 80s, the Motley Crue and the Rat and that kind of stuff was popular, and the Twisted Sister and all that kind of stuff. That was, and then
can't forget Razor.
No.
Razor, man, when I heard Razor, and then also, another band, Holy Terror, is another big one for me too. So
I might know their drummer.
But yeah, who's that?
Oh, Razor.
Razor.
They were just on the show not long ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Their drummer and I are pretty close.
Yeah, he's cool shit.
Oh, okay, awesome.
That's a great band.
Yeah. So they're fantastic.
Hey, maybe next time you guys are on, we'll have him co-host with us that night, and you guys can shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Might as well put him on the spot right now. I know he's watching.
Maybe we'll get lucky and he'll pop in next weekend. Maybe we'll get lucky and he'll pop in next weekend. We'll see what happens. Yeah, no, he's a good dude. Razor's fucking amazing. They got a new album coming out, actually.
Oh, wow.
Within the next little while, they got a new album coming out, which is pretty exciting.
Our bassist, Razor is one of our bassist's favorite bands.
Oh, really?
No way, man. That's so cool.
Really? Okay, well, let me know the next time your bassist is available, and maybe we'll create a show that we can have some fun with.
That would be excellent. Maybe I'll come.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do anyway. I don't know. I've got lots of open dates, and I'm sure we can figure something out.
Yeah, we're pretty flexible here, so.
I'll let Ryder know that when I talk to him, though. That's awesome. He's going to love that. Fantastic.
No doubt, right?
Right on. So no, it's all you. You have a question.
All right. So you guys have merch and stuff, man. Where can we find your merch?
That's a great question.
All of our merch is on our Bandcamp. We've got
I think we have the link down below.
Yeah, our physical albums. We're gonna submit those to be produced probably next week. We're honestly a little on the fence because we since our last label with our LP, because of that situation, we decided to do our own EPs, just DIY it. So we weren't sure we were going to do physical copies or not, but we had overwhelming support. Like, it's kind of weird that as a musician, you expect a certain amount of like, hey, that sucked. But it was like, everyone was like, we want physical copies. I was like, okay, sure. I'm not saying we didn't expect that, but we didn't expect it. So it was like, okay, we'll do physical releases then.
No, we've had a few bands just recently on that are even their LP. They did a special LP fucking thing, and it took off huge. Like, they were like, we weren't expecting that at all. Like, we were. So I understand what you're saying there for sure. Like, all of a sudden, poof, there's this overwhelming support that you never knew because of the age that we're living in that sense. Like, before you'd put it on tape, you'd pass the tape out to your buddies, and then they pass it to their buddies, and you were lucky to get anywhere. And then here we are today, fucking.
So all our merch on the Bandcamp. Check it out. We've got shirts, hot sauce, patches. If you hit us up, we can send you some coffee.
Sweet.
Yeah, CDs. We don't have any vinyl yet, but we may in the future.
Do
We
you have
haven't.
anything on cassette?
Darren, do we have anything on cassette, or did we sell out?
We sold out of those.
So no,
Yeah,
we did not.
we did have a cassette, but we don't have a cassette anymore. That we did a cassette of our, like when we first started, we had a cassette of the first EP.
Yeah, I think it was the first two EPs.
So we sold out of that by now. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a collaboration.
Okay, if you guys ever do again, please think of me. Because I
we will.
I collect cassettes and I
problem.
listen to my cassettes and my CDs, but mostly my cassettes.
Right.
All right.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
we
definitely.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah, definitely. And the coffee too, and the hot sauce and the patches and all the other fun
Yeah.
stuff.
We'll put an order in soon, man.
We
I'll
will
put in
definitely.
some overtime at work.
Yeah, we
some money.
usually. Well, I think we're gonna do the once a year thing until we can start doing merch at shows and stuff again. Because, like, I mean, it's just so hard to choose who to buy from and what to buy and who to support and stuff. Like, I mean, there's such a wide array of bands that need it right now, and by that I mean all of them. Like seriously, everybody needs support, whether it be sharing a song, buying a T-shirt, getting out to a show. Not so much in Canada, but y'all know what I mean. So like, it's just we have to figure it out, how to do the support thing as best as possible. Which again is why I write Sofa City Sounds, so that we can network these bands and get parties and stuff like that when there's parties. And
exactly.
like networking happens in all ways, shapes, and forms, and that includes us buying your merch, right? Because I'll buy a shirt, I'll tear it apart, and then I'll go to a show, and then somebody will go, "Whoa, dude, your shirt looks fucking cool, right?" And then I'll be like, "Yeah, and you should check the band out because they're fucking awesome too." Because I like tear apart my shirts. I cut the neck off, and I'll braid down the center of the back and cut the bottom off, and I pretty much like put
quite
my own touch to it. I have a friend, she owns, I have a friend, she owns Fan Addicts upcycled clothing or recycled rockwear, and she does the same thing. She actually has her own business for it. Me, I just do it because I can, right? I do it for myself or whatever. So usually that gets people's attention. I do it with all my favorite band shirts, and then people are like, "Hey, that shirt looks cool," and I'm like, "Hey, the band's even cooler than the shirt, right?" That's how I advertise my bands.
I hand her this shirt. I'm like, she cuts the shit right out of it and fucking refolds it, reties it. I was like, oh, I guess you can do that 100 times because we now have a female line of shirts.
I can only do it with men's shirts. It looks funny when you do it with female shirts.
It's true.
So, so instead of female shirts, we'll just get a whole bunch of men's shirts, and I'll cut all the shirts, and we can sell them to females. So is there anything else you guys want to tell the world before we get rid of them and keep you guys to ourselves?
I have one more question after.
Okay, we're going to be recording for the Slay at Home series, which is a live stream.
Okay.
So we're going to be going into the studio probably in the next week or two to do that. And keep your eye on the Slay at Home. We'll be promoting that. And we've got our festivals, and we got our physical copies. So, and then the new album. So
which is awesome.
Super excited.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
So before we let you guys go, we've got to ask you, your local scene, your local bands, who else is up and coming out of your area that we should be paying attention to, maybe have on the show, reach out to,
So there's one right now called Yashira, Yaashira. They're more like a hardcore, like deathcore kind, and they're doing pretty well for themselves. Morbid, no, shit. Darren, help me out. Corrupted Saint. That's
who?
It. Corrupted Saint.
Oh, Corrupted Saint. Yeah, they're a thrash band.
Saturnine.
Saturnine's another one. Dead Center.
Dead Center.
If there's,
there's Ghost Witch.
Ghost
Witch is like a country doom if like Danzig and like Hank Williams had a baby. Their guitar player,
like Johnny No Cash.
That's Johnny No Cash.
yeah, the guitar player is especially awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Please send me some music for sure. I'm okay. So we have this guy here in Toronto. His name is Johnny No Cash, and next to Razor, he's my favorite. So I mean, like, I'm not going to play favorites, but Razor and No Cash are my favorites. Whatever. I said it.
Yeah, I'll send you some of the local band names. Like I said, Yashira, Corrupted Saint, Saturnine.
Yeah, please do.
We don't have a big metal scene here, especially for like black metal,
Right.
But or death metal. I mean, there's a handful, but they're good.
They're
Okay.
always changing too.
Like,
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I appreciate it. I love when we get bands from other areas, especially in other countries, and they're like, listen to this band and listen to these guys, and these guys are great, and play these guys. And because like I'm all the way in Niagara Falls, Canada, right? And TJ's up in Barrie. He's 3 hours away from me. So that's 2 musical regions that we get to throw all your music into and make people listen to, right? So yeah, so that's like, I mean, it's like, how else do we scene share right now? I don't get to go to Toronto. TJ doesn't get to go do his Southern tour this year for the 2nd year in a row. I'm not traveling across Canada or Ontario or anything like that this year. So this is the best way to scene share, is by you guys telling us who's in your scene and who we should be paying attention to.
Right? That's how we get music everywhere. Like, you got to spread the word, man. Spread the gospel. This is my church right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to anybody who preaches. You guys telling me how awesome this music is, and throwing me videos and throwing me music. So.
So right on.
Definitely.
Well, guys, I absolutely appreciated this so much, and I'm sure TJ did too. I'm going to speak for you, TJ. We absolutely are honored that you guys came onto the show tonight. Thank you so much for being
Thank you so much for having us.
We greatly appreciate it. We'll share it up again, and we'll get your links. Any links that you guys haven't sent to us already, please do, and we'll get them up with when we edit the interview title and stuff. Yeah. And then if you guys can stick around for a couple of minutes backstage, I actually have the other half of this interview to explain to you guys, but we always wait till the end so that we don't get distracted. But we won't keep you longer than a couple of minutes.
Okay.
So fantastic. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Brandon, take us out of here, dude. Please.
Hold on.
All right.
Play it loud, play it proud. Now.